Greetings, all, and I trust that you're doing well. Welcome to this broadcast. As always, it's a pleasure to be here with you all. Permit me to just look away from the screen to monitor your comments because I'm sure that quite a few will be coming in today. Or a few comments will be made. Welcome, welcome. As you join, please indicate to me whether you hear me clearly and you also see me clearly both on YouTube and on Facebook. We stream on two platforms because this message has to be made very, very clear. Very, very clear this afternoon. So as you join, I welcome your comments. I'll as I said, I'll seek to monitor them, and we'll have some ground rules that are set. In certain forums and under certain circumstances, I am very strict when it comes to how I interact with people. And today's one such, as you can understand, or as you should understand. So if a conversation that is intellectual in nature is being had, then anyone who is void of intellectual astuteness, if you are dumb, if you are silly, I will not be interacting with you because I cannot reason with people who are unreasonable and void of understanding. So let's just get that clear out the way. I'll repeat it as often as I can. I speak to independent thinkers. I speak to independent thinkers, not weak minds, not people who are mentally lazy. And I'll use the term, and you can apply it to whomever you wish. Anyone who is going to reduce themselves to being not just irrational, but plainly stupid, I cannot reason with you. And some of you are too old for this nonsense. So we're going to have a conversation today. I'll present you with what are called irrefutable facts. I always speak to that. Once I present you with the irrefutable truth and you want to go somewhere else, then go on your merry way by yourself. You won't have company. So greetings to all of you and welcome. While you're here, just share the broadcast with others, including T. Mohammed, because this is unexpected and it will be spoken to here. There's not a fight. And what we must understand as Guyanese is that, and I tell you all this, I have no personal issue with people. Critic could call me, because he wouldn't talk to me and we'll talk. Because it's never personal. It becomes personal when we do certain things. As I said to you all with Adriana's situation, that's personal. That right there is personal. So I take certain things personally. And once it becomes personal, I treat it differently. But in reference to political circles, come on, man, it's not personal. So you all don't waste your time. I speak to anybody. I speak to Bar Jagdir, Finale, any one of them. They would take things personally because of how I speak, and their feelings get hurt and so, but not over here. But if the news would carry, and if it would have been said by the leader, one who would likely be the official leader of the opposition. No, you don't say certain things in that capacity. If you're as a Dana, you're talking normal, it's different, but you cannot be allowed to say certain things in the office of or the rank of the official leader of the opposition. Potentially, I should say. We don't do that. We're not going to do that. I'm not going to allow it. Now, please share the broadcast. Let them know that we're here because I speak to this once. I'm not coming back into all this again. I am not coming here to address this on any other occasion. It will be very clear. Now, there may be a broadcast where Mans and I will speak. I remember Parliament and we'll have conversations because of how we analyze things. But today, I came to speak to you as somebody from Region 10. I tell you that's my home. I came to speak to you as a Guyanese who again would have witnessed the PPP subverting, breaking, contravening, abandoning what is lawful. And y'all sit there in the room and accept it, then come to call FGM's name. It wouldn't work like that. We wouldn't do that. We're not going to do that. We are not going to do that under my watch. Under any circumstance, you're going to be straight. If you're joining, today would have happened to be what I know, a very significant one. And you see at the end of this topic, I said 1 seat, so much power. Remember, people were laughing at Ford Ghana movement to say just a 1 seat and made a mockery. Now this one seat, That person sitting and pouting and couldn't understand what happened to them? No, because your assumption is that this one seat wielded the power to determine where you go. And that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. I want to begin with the hard evidence. In Region 10, Dwight John being the regional executive officer. Dwight John, and I'll show you the first graphic. Dwight John is the regional executive officer. In this case, he'd be called the clerk of the council. Okay, that's his role. He's a clerk. He is not one who makes decisions. He is the clerk of the council. Let's present the facts on the table and then let them squabble and talk foolishness. Okay? So look at this. Let's begin with the facts. How is the method of voting I'm speaking to here? So you see a little blue ballot box. If you look into the screen, you'll see here that we're discussing how, according to Chapter 2801, 2809, all speak to the local government and so on. How does the clerk or the REO function? It's on your screen. So we're not playing with this afternoon. So they showed up to guest house in Linden. They're supposed to be voting. Let us look at what happens. At the first statutory meeting of the RDC, after elections, in parentheses, members are sworn in. That happened today. This was the first statutory meeting. And because Dwight John is the clerk of the council, he had to make an announcement for the meeting to be held. The clerk / REO, regional executive officer, then calls for nominations for chairman and vice chairman. The clerk. Okay. If there is more than one nominee, that's problem number one, we'll talk about the exitad. If there is more than one nominee, let's see what happens. The council decides, it's bold, emboldened. Bullet point 3, the council decides how the vote will be taken. So if there's one nominee, there's no reason to vote. The person is the chairman. If there's more than one nominee, then the council will have to decide. The council has decided on how the vote will be taken. Where do you see here that the regional executive officer has the power to determine how you vote? I'm showing you the law here, or the explanation from the law. Usually, this is done by show of hands, unless the majority of the councillors agree to use a secret ballot. Who determines whether you use a secret ballot? Come on, y'all answer me. Y'all have more common sense than many people I know. Who determines how you will vote? Now this is live on Sharma Solomon's page. This was live streamed. So you can go there and see what happened. Dwight John did not even ask the councillors who were sworn in today whether they want a secret ballot or show of hands. Dwight John told them that this would be a secret ballot. Why? Let's address why he did it. Now look at the limits on the REO or the clerk. What are the limits on Dwight John? What is it? What is it that Dwight John cannot do? Let us read bullet point 1. The REO or clerk cannot impose a secret ballot. Let me help T. Mohammed here, because you all don't know where to point your fingers. Dwight John cannot, as well as one in Region 4, you cannot impose a secret ballot on anybody. Now, unless the law is changed, inform me, I'll be guided by that, because I don't like to speak incorrectly. I don't credit myself for being ignorant. But as far as I'm aware, this is what's before you here. The REO, because he's a clerk, he announced himself to be the clerk. What does a clerk do? A clerk doesn't give instructions to anybody. So let's see then, the role of the CEO, the role is administrative. The role is basically one of an administrator, to record, preside, and declare the result, not to make procedural rulings that belong to the elected councillors. Look at bullet point number 3, T. Mohammed, or win. If the REO or clerk were to decide unilaterally, which is what he did, such action could be challenged as ultra vires or beyond the legal authority. I just told you that Dwight John and the One Region 4, maybe others, did this. They acted in a manner that is beyond the ambit of law. But you all pointed at FGM. So I was observing the live stream, and Mark Goring, Councillor Goring, told Dwight John that because Mark was there before, so Mark said we're supposed to vote. That's what he sat and said. He didn't stand to raise an objection. He said we're supposed to vote. And whether we do it by a show of hands or secret ballot. Dwight John looked at Mark Goring, paused, it's on Sharma's page, and continued that there will be a secret ballot. Nine of the Win councillors sat there. 5 of APNU, 3 PPP, and only 1 from Ford Ghana movement. And the majority of the councillors did not get up to say, well, we're not going to vote. Because you can't tell us how to vote. But you want to jump on the FGM case and tell who vote? Because you don't understand what secret balloting does. Secret balloting changes the whole landscape of voting. Because in that case, nobody knows who votes for whom. Or who would have done the voting. And the PPP knew it. And because they know it, they used it to their own advantage. And y'all sat there and let it happen, but you come and talk about FGM. Not here. You're not going to talk about Ford Ghana movement. So I'll show you why I have this issue. I will show you I have a big problem. This right here. So Dwight John imposed, unconstitutionally so, a secret ballot. Now, Mohammed, AGP TV News, Mohammed shocked at alleged alliance between PPP. It should be among, by the way. It cannot be between if it's 3. Among PPP, APNU, and FGM. Now, where are we going with this nonsense? No. We are not going to do this. This is not what should happen. I am not going to sit here and allow this nonsense to transpire before me. No. How could someone or people from the US and the UK know who voted and how they voted if it would have been, and it was, by secret ballot? How do you know that? So Dexter Todd, I'll put all y'all up one time and speak to you one by one this afternoon. Dexter Todd would have, apparently he did a screenshot of my post, or he shared on the 2. But Dexter Todd right here, look. This statement, and I read the statement, it didn't take long. That's my statement of quoting. It did not take long. When I said that the APNU, with PNC, APNU, and the PPP shall coalesce to fight any other party that threatens their 2-party power. When I said that, many had an issue. Well, and I said RDC elections. So Dexter Todd said this statement is not factual. And here's where I'm going to speak to you on now. Even further. APNU 5, TPPC 5, FGM 1, Win 9. So tell me, let's say he's now supposing, because it's a secret ballot. Make sense? Okay. Tell me, let's say all Win votes with Win. Then how come you're joining on APNU? You're a leader, you are a leader. Is FGM party And if your vote went to win, then they got 10. So kindly ask for a recount. So Ian is asking, and Ian, I could with intelligence, why didn't FGM object to secret balloting? Good question. Because FGM has one candidate. And remember, FGM has one vote. It doesn't matter. There's 17 other councillors. We don't have the power. Remember that? So you have win with 9, which is the overwhelming majority. Dexter Todd said it. APNU with 5. So you would expect that if 9 and 5, 14 people say no, then they cannot move ahead with the elections. But there was no leadership. So how do you intend to govern the region in terms of the administrative aspect of it, but you can't stand up to the clerk, which is what Dwight John is, to say, you're not going to tell us how to vote. We're not voting unless it is by show of hands. That would have been the simple common sense approach. But I want to announce to you that there was a plan, and people who instructed Dwight John or whatever was happening, they knew, or Dwight John, I should say, or whoever it is in the PP knew very clearly. And those who are all quiet, that this arrangement requires that nobody knows who voted for whom. That's what happened today. Don't come to FGM. So you're grown adults would sit here and assume that 9 people voted for win, 5 PNC members voted PNC, 3 PPP, and then FGM had the deciding vote. Really? So what happened? Okay. So what happened in Region 4? What happened in Region 4 then? Since FGM is the problem, because it was said that in Region 4, this is history. FGM, for Ghana Women, can control the outcome, this one seat. What happened today? Let Azri Mohammed come and tell us what happened to the 7 votes since the secret ballot in Region 4 too. Can you say what happened to the 7 votes that were blank and the 2 in which adults wrote spoil vote? Tell us who did that. Who did it? How irresponsible can we be to sit and say we know who voted how? How do you people do that? Okay, so let me, for the sake of those who are slow, let's deal with this. Let's deal with this. In 2018, I think it would have been. Let's deal with this. If you have common sense, this is where I'm speaking to you, because those without it won't understand what I've said, and those who are dishonest shall pretend as though they don't understand. So let's go to 2018, what is called the no confidence motion. Barrett said, okay, then we move a vote of no confidence motion against Granger, and he was sure, because of dealings, he was certain that the PPP will have it. So they moved to Parliament. Sharon Das was an AFC member, and he was a member of Parliament with the APNU AFC. Here's my question that you all know the answer to. Did the clerk of the National Assembly or the speaker say that, hey, this is by secret ballot? Was there a secret ballot in 2018 in the National Assembly when there was no confidence motion? Y'all come to the front of the class, let's talk. Was there in 2018, I think it was December, was there any secret ballot when Charandas had to vote? Because Charandas agreed, and that was a problem. He said, listen, I will vote to keep Granger. It was said that he agreed. So they want to challenge that because he wasn't supposed to change the agreement. But he didn't say that in the chambers. So when they got up to vote in the House Assembly now, Parliament is reconvened. The sitting has been reconvened, and they're about to vote. If it was not, and you know it was not by secret ballot, how will y'all know that Charandas said yes? And I said, Charandas, no, change it. And of course, Figgy, of all people, Figuera, give him the hunch. Say, change him, and cost all the mother, the Figgy with the Charandas with the F-boy, all of that. You were there, you saw it. Some of you did. The reason why we know Charandas is because it was not by secret ballot. Now, here's the common sense question for y'all, smart ones hiding in the bushes and talking foolishness. If they had decided that, hey, we're going to have this vote of no confidence, by secret ballot, would you have known Chandas did it? Would you have known who did it? And there was, according to reports, there would have been at least 2 others. So there would have been 3 of them, at least, who would have voted against Granger. Would you have known who did it? Unless they would have said it? Because the term secret, they always give me pain sometimes, some of you, as adults. That's why your English grades is so low. The term secret speaks for itself. Now, the councillors could go and tell Azadin, we all voted for Goring. That's what it could do. PNC people could say, we voted for him. The 3 could say, and FGM could say, the candidate, because you don't know if it's a secret ballot. So what nonsense are we saying? Or you, not me, some of you. The PPP, you mean to tell me you only got common sense? In Linden, all across this country, PPP popped up wherever they had the power of the executive in terms of the RU. I said, this would be my secret ballot. Ask yourself, why would the PPP insist, like they didn't even consult with the law, this would be a secret ballot? And it was in Region 4 as far as I saw, and sat there and didn't object to it, or cause the council to object to it. You tell me, why would the PPP do this? So let us be clear. Let's be clear. The very first thing that should have happened today is that Wynne should have insisted that there should not be anything called a secret ballot. APNU should have insisted that there should be nothing called a secret ballot. And Forward Ghana Movement would have insisted there be nothing called a secret ballot. That should be the first thing that should have happened in Region 10. Because Wynne has 9, so you all need to lead. I told you before, there be no hiding behind anybody anymore. You need to stand and lead. And you allow this thing to be foisted on you because maybe you assume, this is easy. It's not easy. Because when it comes to secret ballot, your own people can vote against you. And APNU can vote against somebody, and there could be a lot of permutations, a lot of possibilities and probabilities. But as fate would have it, it showed as though there was 9 and everybody voted for Wynne, from Wynne camp. That's what Dexter is saying. Is that the case? You're a lawyer, you shouldn't do that because you know better than that. Now, you all in Region 10 would like, some of you, not all of you, some of you would like to accept or play along with this game that, hey, it was okay for there to be 9 councillors in Region 4, 9, 7 saying blank, we ain't voting. That's called abstaining. 2, spoil the ballot. Wrote spoil ballot as far as the council was the clerk was reading. So 9 people said we're not voting. So who you mean to tell me, because y'all can get you know I don't have an issue with anyone of y'all dealing with you, man to man, woman to woman. I don't play with this. Let me be known as the person who'll tell you where to get off. Because you're not going to come with nonsense to me and think it's okay. How is it acceptable for anyone to suggest that you sit and watch the law just because you felt you're safe? And now you want to blame this one seat, FGM, and say we colluded? Colluded with whom? Not over here. What you need to ask yourself is this. Let me ask you this question. Forward Ghana Movement, APNU, and win are the opposition parties. Let me tell you all where this here becomes a problem. Today, it should have been, if you want to go that road, 9 plus 5 plus 1 equals what? Y'all do the math. 15, am I right? And 3 for the PPP. But what should happen? Let AP and you tell me, and you, why would they choose to oppose win in Region 10? That's the only come. Don't talk to me about FGM. Talk to me about why would AP and you, why would the AP and you see that there's 9 seats for win and still choose to field a candidate to oppose them? Talk about that on this broadcast. That's what we can discuss. Don't tell me nonsense on the FGM vote foolishness. There is supposed to be a combined opposition. So you need to tell me, why is it that there were not 15 votes for win? Y'all don't like the responsible conversations I have with you. Not y'all, some of you. Let me stop saying y'all. Many individuals hate truth and hate these kind of conversations that I have it with you. I speak to you like this so you could get mad and look yourself in the mirror and deal with it. Let's talk about that. If there are 3 opposition parties, WIN, FGM, and APNU, why were there not 15 seats and just 1 chairman chosen? You tell me why. The PPP did not choose to nominate anybody. FGM did not nominate a soul. But you want to jump to us? You better know where to get off. Don't try that over here. What Azadin Mohammed needs to ask himself, as I put it here, is why did the AP and you feel a candidate against y'all in Region 10? You're supposed to have conversation now with the other opposition leaders. You should have been having that a long time ago. To discuss how, as the opposition, we can even function in the regions. That's the responsible thing to do. Now, Priya is the person who shall determine, based on the law, she will vote for who she will work with. That's what we come to now in Region 10. What happened in region number 7? Well, I'm glad that you asked. I think it was region 7. 7 candidates for win, 7 for the PPP, 1 for APNU. Remember that Forward Ghana Movement did not contest for the geographic candidacy in region number 7. So you can't call on him in region 7. Let's see what happened in region 7, because our name can be called. Good? So let's see what happened. Charlene, you're too grown for this. Believe me. And you're a nice person, but don't do this today. The media said that FGM voted for the PP, and you accept that. And it's on your screen. It's a secret ballot. And you accept that the media said it. Oh, man. Oh, Charlie. Oh, let me speak a Guyanese now. Oh, man. Oh. I'm just saying to you that it was by secret ballot. I gave you the example to compare what happened in Charandas, what happened with secret ballots. In a secret balloting process, you cannot know who voted for who. People could come and tell you, yeah, I voted for you, and they didn't. That's why our general and regional elections are done by secret ballot. You don't know. In the general elections, you can check ballot, the code, the 8-digit number, and you can verify and all that. But it takes, of course, a breaking of the law. You have to open the ballot box to check. But I'm saying to you here, in the regional situation, it's worse because you just have a ballot paper and you just write DM, DB, D Blair, or MG Margoin, or Margoin. That's it. That's it. It's by secret ballot. The media has to be dealt with. You can't go and put people on the line like the foolishness. How can the media go and say that FGM voted in whatever manner? When it is called a secret ballot, the media doesn't know that. We don't even know that. Nobody Nobody in Ghana knows it but the person who voted. That's the power of secrecy. Now you can speak to an expectation. And that's what Win is doing. So they're saying, listen, all 9 of our candidates voted for. Said who? Of our councillors. Says who? So I asked again what happened in Region 4, but let's start with Region 7. In Region 7, this is funny. There were 7 candidates for Win, 7 for the PPP, and only 1 for APNU. And T. Mohammed posted this, not me. Let me see if we can find it. Let me find it and read it for y'all. They'll give me a minute, let me find it. Let me read what they've said. Not me. Yes? I am reading what T. Mohammed said, right? Okay? Please. Thank you. In the general and regional elections for Region 8, Win secured 7 regional seats. I'm reading for you what T. Mohammed said. PPP secured 7 and APNU secured 1. This is from T. Mohammed here. Today, at the swearing-in of the councillors, this is what they're saying. And the election for regional chairman, the APNU councillor cast their vote in favor of the PPP candidate. That's we now Forward Ghana Movement did not contest in Region 7 for geographic or regional candidacy. So you can't call her name here. So let's see what happened. Since you all don't understand what I said to you about the PNC and the PPP collaborating, coalescing to fight anybody. Let me show you what happened here. And coalescing in terms of one, just for the sake of discussion. They did it, they voted in favor of the PPP candidate, resulting in the PPP securing the chairmanship. Listen to this. PPP then rewarded APNU by giving them the vice chair position. This is clear collusion. And you want to mix us up in this? For decades, I continue. Actually, let me see if I can switch the camera and show you all this. Front facing, back. All right, I'll switch it back. Look. For decades, Guyana, or the Guyanese people were fooled into believing that PPP and PNC were enemies. They have been lying to the people. Now that they have a chance to defeat the PPP, they are joining with them to stifle Win. Win wants to assure Guyanese that we will not be compromised and we will not be bought. We will continue to represent the people of our country. I didn't say it. So Win would have said to you plainly in Region 8 what would have transpired. Explain to us what has happened. Come and explain to us what happened, because Forward Ghana Movement is you all want to talk to us being the problem? You're not going to find a scapegoat here in us. And let it be known, because this is no secret. Even with a hint of there being an approach to any candidate to Forward Ghana Movement, that person will be withdrawn. We don't play that. So the media they're expected to withdraw that nonsense, because if you know that voting is by secret ballot, you should not do that, because it's misleading and it's typically deceptive of you all. Don't do it. You all don't realize what happened with some of your own councillors. That's the problem you face. Don't look at FGM. And you mean to tell me that all the people sat in that room and they were okay with this arrangement? That they would be secret ballot? They were okay with it because they knew. And if FGM objected to it, what's supposed to happen? If our councillor said, we don't agree with secret balloting, then what happens? That's only one person. Win thought that it was secure. That's Ramtiyal. Just like with the general elections and regional elections, you assume that you win. So you don't have to fight for certain things. You allow the nonsense to happen again. I'm giving you a loophole now. You have the right to challenge this in a court of law. Just know that. There should never be anything called a secret ballot determined by the clerk of the process. The council. It should not be. And if Dwight John could bully you all like that, what sense does it make? Let me talk straight to you, because I don't. When it comes to the affairs of my country, I don't have friends. I think you all should know that by now. I don't have friends when it comes to what happens in my country, in Guyana. I don't play the friend role, and I don't counter about anybody. If 9 councillors from WIN could not control Dwight John, then you shouldn't be leading the region, period. If 5 from APNE could not control Dwight, then forget it. Maybe you should let for Guyana movement lead the region, because there's no way Dwight could come in my face as a Londoner to tell me that he could do what he wants and get away with it. I told you all that. And I know the quality of leadership within for Guyana movement. Nobody could come and harass and bully us into nonsense. So you need to speak to the fact that your councillors refuse to stand and do the right thing. That's what the media should carry about you all. You all need to understand what is happening in your country. What is happening in your country? Examine today. Examine the regional and general elections. Examine it and ask yourself, why is Guyana in so much trouble? And I'll tell you why. We are in trouble because people are easily controlled in many instances. I don't want to say why here, because some of y'all could read through the lines. We are in I told you all, oil money, long. Don't play with the wealth that we have in our nation. And when people are accustomed to living below a particular standard, one shot, say if you vote this way, look, 5 million, look, 3 million, look, $20 million, whatever it is, whatever it takes. It requires a very strong and resilient person to go through secret balloting, knowing that nobody will know who I vote for, and they still hold the focus. When you approach on site, somebody say, hey, if you do this, if you'll give us this, then you're set. Or if you're paid up front. It's obvious something went drastically wrong, terribly wrong today in Region 4 and Region 10. So do you blame for Guyana movement for Region 4 too? That's what I want to ask you, because you have to have common sense. In two regions where FGM had the deciding vote, they said, hey, secret ballot. Both controlled by the PP in terms of the executive officer. And both said that clockwork, secret ballot. Y'all didn't read between the lines yet? You come jumping on FGM train talking nonsense about who we vote for and we partner with the PPP. Stop echoing nonsense. You're too grown. This is irresponsible on the part of the media and some of y'all, even your leader, in terms of asking. You shouldn't do that. This is entirely unacceptable. You know what I'm happy about? Let me tell you this. What I am extremely overjoyed about, let me tell you this. I'm telling you the facts, straight up. You know, I'm glad this turned out the way they did in Region 10. I'll tell you why. Because for one, it showed me that the PNC, the APNU, refused to work with WIN. That's the first thing. It showed me that PNC, WIN, FGM, we yet to function as the opposition in general. And you don't blame the one seat. Because Azzedine Mohammed has 16 in the House Assembly. So you need to figure out how you're going to lead the opposition if you are the leader. That's what today is about. Secondly, I am happy to know, honestly, that Priya Manikchan, of all people now, the PPP has the power to sit and tell you all, we will work with you and not you. That's what it's come to. So now you will see, the whole world will see who the PPP is willing to work with. Not FGM, we are the picture. We not, so not instead of work with us, let's see of the two of y'all which side the PPP prefers to work with. That is going to be so informative. It's going to inform us a whole lot, Mr. Dexter Todd. You send this? No, there's a lot more. There's a lot more in the epistle than that, in the martyr than that. A whole lot more than what you posted there in reference to the caption that you put. You on my page to suppose if when all candidates voted for win, how can you even assume that? And I will reiterate, to the pain, the psychological trauma that most people experience, who like to parrot nonsense in the name of a political party. When there was a vote of no confidence motion moved against David Granger in the House of Assembly, they did not say it was by secret ballot, because if they did, then no one will know who voted for whom. That's basic common sense. So if today, as they did in Region 8 or 1 or 9, or Region 8, you could have stood and say, listen, I vote for this person, you wouldn't have this problem here. You wouldn't have this issue. So what I'm saying to you, Azuddin Mohammed, call your lawyers and challenge the result in Region 10. I'm giving you, because it's not personal. You know me, bro. It's not personal here. But what you did is unacceptable. For you to stand by with two house and say that FGM work with PNC and PPP, don't do it. That is unacceptable. You're a leader. You have never had this position. But I'm telling you, you don't do those things as a leader of the opposition. You don't do it. It's highly irresponsible of you. What you should have done was spoken to the fact that Dwight John acted in a manner that contravenes or violates the order of law. That's what you should have done. Not jump on Ford Ghana train. Speak to what Dwight John did was wrong. And I'm encouraging you to challenge this in a court of law. If you're serious, and if it means that much to y'all, challenge it, because it's on record that he did it. But I have a piece of information for y'all. Oh, this is good. Now, I'm also overjoyed about the fact that there's a reality check. And that reality check is that you don't do this thing in Guyana by myself. Now you realize that you need others to vote for you or for your party in general. You see how life works? To bring us down to ground zero again? I thought that you could have done it by yourself, but you actually can't. And I advise against that thought. So you refuse to coalesce to challenge the PPP, but now we should work together to give you the chairmanship. Is that how we process this thing here? And some of you guys are yet to even wake up and smell the green tea or the tree root. Huh? How you could tell me, the Guyanese people, that you promised to supporters you would not coalesce. In other words, you're not going to work with anybody else to form one big party to challenge the PPP. But now you want the people you want to work with to vote for you. Is that how we do this in this country, sir, brother? It doesn't work like that. And your introduction to this political world has been met with a humbling experience, that it doesn't work that way. You don't have your way in politics. You work your way in politics. I repeat that. You don't have your way in politics. You work your way in politics, in governing a country. You don't do this like that. So now you'll understand that again, I'm reaching out an olive branch to you to inform you that you should tomorrow morning get up as quickly as possible tonight. Get a lawyer to challenge this. First of all, there should be an injunction. There should be no stringing of anybody. Let me tell you this. You should approach the court for Dwight John to give account as to how we could decide to unilaterally tell the councillors this is how we're doing it. That's what you could do. Let's see if you're willing to do that. Now, I said if the law has been changed, as it was changed, amended, for the government minister to choose between the two parties with the more votes, if they're equal, then probably this has been amended. Hopefully it's not. But when I checked, it was not amended. But we could still, maybe it wasn't, I didn't know. But no, sorry, not under there's nobody in this country who tell me when Guyanese were clamoring, please, let's all coalesce, let's work together. And then the person who had the ability to do it said, no, I'm not working with anybody else. I'm not going to coalesce. And now, when the time came for parties to vote, you are having a problem. You're shocked. Do not be shocked because you said you could do it alone. Now we see it's not even being done alone anymore because in Region 4, people decided they're going to vote against the will of the people. Meaning people did not elect any councillor or any regional councillor to not vote to determine the regional chairman and the vice chairman. That's not what they voted for. Oh, so when one party gets mad, they just don't vote? Is that how we're going to function here? Is that how we're going to run a country? No. No. No one can tell how a councillor voted. Stop the stupidity. Y'all too old to be listen, do not, please. Y'all say I could insult people. I insult you if you want to be stupid. If you're stupid, I will not be pleasant towards you. If it is called a secret ballot, it is a secret. For intelligence sake, y'all please. So let me show you again the process before I leave. How is the method of voting determined at the RDC level? For the chairman, at the first statutory meeting of the RDC, the Regional Democratic Council, after elections, which have been today, they held this, members are sworn in. The clerk or REO, Regional Executive Officer, calls for nominations for chairman and vice chairman. If there's more than one nominee, the council decides. The council decides. The council decides. The council decides how the vote will be taken. The council decides that. So let's go to point 3. If there is more than one, the council decides how the vote will be taken. Sub-point. Usually, this is done by show of hands. That's a normal practice. You need to know who vote for whom. Unless the majority of the councillors agreed to use a secret ballot. Let's go to Dwight John's behavior now. Next. Limits on the RU or the clerk. What are the limits? The RU or clerk cannot impose a secret ballot. It's written. It's right there. Because the role of the RUs is administrative. All right? So they have an administrative role to record, preside. Did he preside over the electoral process? He didn't. He doesn't tell you what could happen, and he declared the results of that process, not to make procedural rulings that belong to the elected councillors. Now, Azudin Mohammed, here's your chance. If the REO or clerk and the PNC too, y'all, if you don't want to go this way alone, you all work together. If the REO or clerk were to decide unilaterally, such action could be challenged as ultra vires beyond their legal authority. How much more help do you need? How much help can I offer you? Huh? So I've been maybe the first person to come out here to say to you that there is a legal route to take, as did Mohammed. win, we invest in nationhood. There's a legal path to take. Ford Ghana movement took it. We're not afraid of anything. The court could try to penalize us with $50 million. We don't care. We'll continue to appeal because Ghanaians will see how wretched certain systems are. Are you prepared to take that road? Or will you sit back and try to point your finger at everybody else? Additionally, this should be a lesson that you need to work with people, and your supporters can't jump and say, yes, no, let's not work with anybody. Leave them alone. We'll do this alone. We'll do it alone then. You have a choice. You could teach them now that it doesn't work like that. We need to respect the wholeness of a process. I respect the power of in working together, or you could do this alone. Do this alone. It's your choice. I'm just offering you counsel as one who knows that you are expected to lead, not to react. Lead. APNU was once with the AFC leading Guyana. They were the leaders of this nation, the government or the administration. And y'all can't stand up to Dwight John? What does Dwight John have on some of you that make you scared to talk? Goring sat there and I said, he mumbled, just said, it has to be by vote. That's it. That's how you Goring would have been the regional chairman, and that's how you respond to Dwight John, who's supposed to be the clerk, who serves you all. You had experience with Dwight John for 5 years, or however long it was, and you saw what he gives. Look at how the man spoke to Ford Ghana movement today. Look at how that one in Region 4 dealt with Ford Ghana movement. A woman, and that pot-bellied one got up and was speaking. Look at how Ford Ghana movement was saying, we are against this. But there's only one seat. So tell us all why. Why is it that when certain councils are objecting to this foisting of this dictatorial way of saying we voting by secret ballot, why others didn't stand to fight it? Most importantly, why didn't the PNC fight it? Talk that. Come and tell us that now. Or because you're feeling sorry, come tell people stupidness about PNC and the PPP and FGM have colluded. Don't do that. No one supporter should say the nonsense that peddling it around that win or PPP, APNU and us are working together. The PPP remains, for me, the worst enemy of the people of this country, because what it did, the things that have been happening under them, the 20 in Madia, Quindon Bacchus, or in Boston, Fajane, Ronaldo Peters, you name it, taking people's land, the Chinese landing situation, taking land from people, harassing and bullying them, pushing up people out the way. You're crazy, huh? Don't do this. And instead of coming to us with your nonsense, listen to me. You need to deal with the fact that there's a joint opposition and there should have been 15 votes for a win. If you ask me, or 15 votes for Dominic, whatever it is. There should have been a decision made as to how it would happen. But it's obvious that what you saw today was not based on the collective opposition. You need to reason. What you saw today in Region 10 and in Region 4 definitely did not speak to any united opposition. It spoke to the infiltration by the PPP. So y'all go work your maths over there, because we do not do that jiggery pokery story. We don't get involved in that Nancy business here. Not over here. I'm telling you straight as an arrow. The reason why I could deal with Amanza Walton this year, the reason why is because I have known her for decades, and there has never been an occasion in which anybody from the PPP could have pointed on their face or APN and say, you took bribe and you took this and you took this. And I deal with people who, when I talk, I got to swallow. Mr. Azadin Mohammed, Mr. Orby Norton, you all get your act together on that side and ask your counselors how this happened. Don't come to Fort Ghana movement. You can meet in wherever corner you want to talk and ask each other, how in the world did this happen? How in Region 4 could there be 9 councillors, 9 votes just gone to waste? And for the first time in our history, the PPP now controls the regional chairman, that position, and I think the vice chairman, the deputy chairman. Ask yourself, how could this happen in Region 4? Ask yourself that. And ask yourself, why would 7, who were the 7? Since you all know who did what, you name the 7 people who just left the paper blank in Region 4. And then name the 2 adults who wrote spoiled ballot in Region 4. Name them and tell me which party they're from before you jump on this train over here. Then come back to me, we could talk. Listen to me. The leader of the PNC, the leader of WIN, cannot come before the decision and tell you, they call me or Amanza to speak about how we'll enter this process here. Let them come and let them take one chance and go and say that. And that should tell you where I'm going with this. That should tell you where I'm going with this conversation here. How do you know that for Ghana movement, one seat, suddenly you all know we got all this power? And instead of being respectful and have a conversation with us, you didn't? The other common sense approach should have been, since you all know how to govern a country, I'll help you. You knew. What you should have done was have all of the possible candidates get together, the councillors from WIN, reference to Region 10, Forward Ghana, and PNC. You all sit in one room and say, listen, this is what we're doing. We're the opposition here, and that's what we will do. That's respect. You don't want to do that either because, after all, you don't have to talk to anybody. You're big like that. You can do things on your own. Well, do it on your own then. Do it on your own, man. Don't cry now. Do it on your own. Because I just told you the other thing you should have done. If there's a joint opposition, then you meet as a joint opposition. You meet with the councillors, 9, 5, 1. So 15 people will be in the room, and you had time to have a conversation among us. Say, hey, okay, you do this, you do that. And therefore, you have control of the region. No, you don't want to do that. No, you don't have to talk to anybody. Now you want to come to say that you are shocked? I'm not accepting that nonsense. Under no circumstance will I accept it. Now Dexter Todd wanted to say, and Todd wanted to have the nerve to say that why shouldn't the APNU vote APNU? Because you shouldn't be voting for anybody from APNU in the first place. There shouldn't have been any contest in this matter. There should have been a meeting of minds. We discussed, as you should have done, in a room or wherever it is, at multiple meetings probably, I don't mind. Then when you show up today, the PPP has nothing to say. So therefore it doesn't matter. Because as a joint opposition, we agreed that's what would happen. You all had no respect for people because, after all, we got 1 seat. Well, leave us in our corner with the 1 seat, and you chill and deal with what I told you. Go to the court and tell the court that Dwight John did not do the right thing, so this election must be considered null and void. It's ultra vires the Constitution, and you need to therefore have a fresh election. And maybe by then you're going to have meetings with the right people, with all the councillors who are involved, except the PPP, and show where you stand. But you show your card too early. You don't want to be seen as being in a room with other people having healthy conversations. Well, this is what we get. This is basic common sense. Why must the party with one seat be asking people, hey, let's talk? That makes any sense to y'all? The party with one seat, as y'all call it, is leading again. Listen, this is what should happen. You're supposed to have a conversation. We're supposed to meet. If you're joint opposition, then meet and have a joint opposition conversation. Meet and have a conversation with the regional democratic organs. Meet because we have to have local government elections. Probably we don't know if we're going to coalesce and in some way by then work something out. Y'all don't want to do this because you can do it on your own. Well, do it on your own then. But don't mix me up in foolishness. Don't mix my sister man's up in nonsense, because this wouldn't go down right with y'all. Now, if you had as the official leader of the opposition, if you had called this meeting, and Orby would have sent Dominic, because apparently they didn't even know what happened in there. Send the 5 councillors. If Jim has the one, we all sit in the room and we talk. Then he could have said, hey, we agreed, like Chandas, but y'all do something else. Because he could have first told y'all there'll be nothing called in secret ballot. That's the first step. Don't let him do this, because we know the wrong. No secret ballot. That's the first thing he should have done. But no. 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 Well, let me make it clear to all and sundry. With for Ghana movement, even among the leaders, if you show one hint of not having character, that's sound, and not having integrity to honor the things you've said, you are gone. Because listen, this is not a movement for disingenuous people. It's better to have one honest seat than 15 criminals. That's where we stand. We ain't gonna buy any seat. We wouldn't negotiate for any seat. We're not commercialize any seat. We're not going to sell our souls. No. Not over here. I trust that my presentation to you today would have been as pellucid as possible, as clear as it has to be. And as I've promised you, I shall not be speaking to this again. Probably Amanda and I will have, more than likely, because I love the interaction. We're two different people in terms of personality. And in reference to our discussions, I believe that helps Guyanese based on your feedback. So she and I may have a discussion, but this right here that I just did, not again. If you are an adult and you want to be so shallow to think that a secret ballot is not secretive, then you have a problem I cannot solve, because I cannot deal with you as a teacher. I spent 18 years of my life in education, and you know the deal. Listen to me. One thing I know, that a child who refuses to learn is different from one who cannot. And when you see you're an adult and you refuse to function by common sense, I diss you fast, because you're heading good. And I can't help people who are heading good. You are deliberately silly, and I'm not going to deal with that nonsense. So if you all still want to peddle around Linden and wherever you are, that for Ghana movement was with the PPP, do it. I've spoken to it already, and it's clear as day. Let Win tell you all why they refused, or they failed to convene a meeting among all of the opposition parties, so we can go into this here with one head. Let them tell you that. Let them tell you why they refuse today to stand as a team of 9 to say, you, Dwight John, can't tell us about any secret balloting. Not here. I'll break up the whole meeting if you have to, because I would have done that if I were in Win leading Gory, or if I were in FGM with all that power y'all talk about. The meeting would not go on, because you can't force anything on me. As it didn't said that, I think it's Zazin said it, or there's somebody objected in Region 8, or somebody it was, and they said, all right, we will go the way of show of hands. So it's proven that the councillors in certain regions stood up, and it had to be a show of hands. But for Region 4 and Region 10, the councillors decided to just chill. You're big party boys. So I'm to big parties now. So it seems, as I leave you all, that one seat has got more power than 9. Ha! Boy, life is sweet. It seems as though 1 seat has got more power than 18 or 17. So maybe next election, you should just run for 1 seat then. That may work, because it seems if 1 seat is a game changer here. So probably don't spend so much money contesting for 25 and 35 and 40. Just contest for 1, because one has all the power in the world, it seems. Anyway, do well. And I wish you wisdom, because foolishness doesn't run well in this side of trade tracks. Y'all do well.